I know a lot of people ask, how does memory work? And they do not have a logical scientific explanation. For me, I am a seriously good recognizer. I recognize a lot of things. The two main keys of life is recognition, analyzation, and providing those solutions. I put the third one out there because I said the keys of life. So I had to put something out there that provides something. When it comes to recognition, first, before you add anything else to your life, you have to then realize what you have there first. There's things that you cannot see. There's things that you cannot feel. There's things that you cannot even know is there at all. So you have to recognize it in some kind of way. Now, for me, I understand the gap between time and space, and I can feel what is there. A lot of people are thinking you're human, you cannot feel that. There's a lot about me that a lot of creatures do not understand. And I know that if I explained the last part before the first part, it would be like starting from step 0 and then jumping to step 10. When you first have to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before, the steps of the order of the process that it takes. So first I want to explain to you how my memory works. So when it comes to neurons, N-E-U-R-O-N-S, I think, neurons, I think that's how it's spelled. Neurons are sparked throughout the brain. It's not only sparked throughout the brain, it's sparked throughout the entire body. It's how your body functions. You got a lot of signals, you got a lot of waves, and those signals are processed and transferred. The neurons in your brain are actually processed by the neurotransmitters. Not only are neurons processed by the neurotransmitters, but also there are different waves in the air from the external world and the internal world that are being processed at the same exact time. That's why a lot of the times when you smell a bad smell, you do not continuously smell it. Because you smell it once and it goes numb after that. It's not that it goes numb, it's that you have other things to process. That's the reason why it goes numb. And, you kind of get that, that smell, spray, glade, spray kind of thing. Yeah, that's right. Glade spray is the best spray. That's from Walmart. Best place ever. Walmart is my number one. Walmart has my loyalty. Great. I'm the most loyal person in Walmart ever. Anyway, so neurons in your brain. How I remember things, how my memory works, is when the brain, now I am pretty much the back, and when the brain processes the neurotransmitters, I pretty much receive what those neurotransmitters have processed, and then I remember whatever those neurons had contained within them. So it's just like a particle in the air that you smell. You will remember that particle because you had once known that particle. Well, a neuron can withhold many things. And sometimes it's specific things like the spores in the air or the particles in the air. And as we know, there are quintillions of particles in the air as we speak. And there are tons and thousands of dust particles in the air. There is dust mites. There is germs. There is airborne bacteria. There's tons of things that the body has to breathe in and everything like that. So it is a very difficult thing. But there is, just like those things that are specifically as they are unique, we have unique neurons that contain unique memories. And the neurotransmitters the brain can move and transfer that neuron, and then that neurotransmitter processes that, and then that is how memory works. That is how my memory works. Now, I've reviewed some of my brother's memories. I asked my biological brother, I said, how does your memories work? At one point, some time ago, a while ago, and he said, I remember just as I see. So just as you see, I do not understand it. I do not see anything. When I remember something, it is no sight. It's just the notes, the memory. Today, there was a lot of memory of Pennsylvania in 2010 when the biological brothers and I had the best time of our life with Sean was like the person who adopted us, and he had done such wonderful things. There was this four-wheeler and the snow, it was like 3 or 4 feet of snow, and we took that four-wheeler, although there was no battery in it. There was no battery in it at all. We took it up that hill, pushed that thing up the hill, and we just had a good time on the way down. Well, there was this person next door. She was deaf, and we had to sign language to her, and that's where we learned sign language. Well, we were on this four-wheeler, and she could not hear. Now, I was in front, she was in the back, and that's not a good mix because she was heavier than me. So we ended up flipping. She jumped out, and then we stayed, and then the wrist bent back. My brother came and started crying, caring about my life, and there were some other memories that I had received from the neurotransmitters, and one of those memories was a spinning top. So it was like this spinning top that danced and sang, and it was like dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Well, anyway, so you just spin it and it lights up the room, and we had a fun time with that spinning top. That thing was amazing, and I don't even know if they make it like that anymore. But yeah, Sean was appreciated. He was like the only time that we had being kids. But the house we lived in, infested with mold and all kinds of other things. It was terrible. Everybody got sick, but the biological was not cleaning, and it was terrible. Well, anyway, so I wanted to explain to you how memory works and how fun that it can be at times to remember things and to really feel like you're experiencing it again by reading those neurotransmitters or reading the neurons that the neurotransmitters process. And I just wanted to express that. Have I been taught about neurons and how it works? No, I have not. I have, in the past, done some research on the brain and how the brain works. I have an anatomy of the brain. It's so difficult to understand at first. There's just so many things about the body, the anatomy of the body. You want to learn the anatomy of everything. And I'm not just talking about the human body. You want to understand the anatomy of the universe, about how many quintillions of planets out there, and how we're just like a speck in the universe, and the different dimensional things and how that works. I had the most strangest thing happen to me the other day, and I cannot explain it. It was so strange. I was looking out the window, and this is an anatomy that I do not understand. I was looking out the window, and I was telling the stories of the cumulonimbus clouds, because they make shapes sometimes. So you can make stories out of them. Well, it's so strange. I was telling the stories of clouds, and then I was looking out the window while I was doing it, and everything. And I turn around, and all of a sudden my vision just starts doing weird things. Because sometimes when you look at the sky, it does something to your retina. Well, everything just kind of started turning green. And I blinked, and then everything was like a graph. Oh my goodness, it was so strange. It was the most strangest thing I think I've ever seen. It was just a graph, like a serious graph. I was in the room, I turn around, and then a graph just there. You know, what? What am I seeing? I did not know what to think. Anyway, I wanted to explain to you how neurotransmitters work and how neurons work. And it's pretty much like a radio processing a radio wave. You cannot see it, but yet you process it. And that's how it is similar. And is telepathic communication possible? Yes, most definitely. The neurotransmitters are capable to process even the splitting of atoms to allow you to see an X-ray. But you do not use that kind of brain power. You only use less than 10% of your brain. So you're not using really a lot of what you're capable to do.